Happy Saturday, everyone. It's Rob the Backyard Gardener, and it's time for another garden tour. It's been about, well, actually it was Easter Day the last time I gave you guys a backyard garden tour. So 6 weeks. I know a lot of you have been asking about my tomatoes, the peppers, and everything I have growing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have growing on in the garden. So this is my hot pepper bed. I've got a couple of serrano pepper plants back here, and really guys, they've already started to produce. And to be honest with you, these are really small plants. So today, what I'm planning on doing is just harvesting some of the immature serrano peppers, because having this many fruit on such small plants actually stunts them. It's better to go ahead and harvest or pull off the flowers ahead of time so that the plant can go back to focusing its energy on growth. And those aren't too bad of looking serrano peppers either. We've got a Fresno pepper right here, and he actually has an immature Fresno pepper on him as well. So you know what, we'll leave these ones on there. This plant's actually growing pretty well, so we'll let it go. But you can see he's losing a lot of his blossoms, mainly because he's just not that mature of a plant to produce much fruit yet, which is why it's always a good idea to pull the fruit off. We got a jalapeno plant here, and I will be pulling off jalapenos today. Got another jalapeno on this plant right here. They're premature, but I'll take them. And then we've got a third jalapeno plant right here, and he's got a couple of jalapenos as well. So we'll pull those off. This is my ghost pepper section. We've got 3 ghost peppers right here. No flowers, no fruits on them yet. And then we have a Reaper, and he's starting to flower, so we should get some peppers. This is the one I overwintered. And then those are the potato plants that I had relocated here as a secondary potato patch. You'll recall, this is my potato patch here. We've got red potatoes, Yukon Gold, and the Adirondack Blues. And one of the plants died. The ground's really wet here because when my AC kicks on, the spigots up there, the overflow, the condensation drips right in here. So I'm pretty sure that that's not going to produce very many potatoes. But we're about, what, 65 days in. So in about another 3 weeks, we'll be able to get an early potato harvest in here and we'll see what we get. This is my green beans, or actually these are my yellow beans, my bad. So I've got to harvest some yellow beans today. You can see we've got some worth harvesting on all these plants right here. We've got 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And again, one thing about beans you want to make sure of is you always want to pull the beans off when they're ready, because that will encourage more beans. I've got a volunteer raspberry or blackberry bush. I'm thinking it's a blackberry, but it could be a raspberry as well. We're letting it grow there. In this bin, I've got my cucumbers. You know, it's funny. These ones have really struggled. They're starting to get flowers though, so that's a good thing. But they haven't even put on much size. Planted at the same time as this one, and he's really getting on some size. He's even starting to climb this pole like I wanted. And he's got several flowers in there. I haven't seen any fruit sets because I think all the flowers are only male right now. I haven't seen any female flowers. That's typical of squashes and cucumbers and any vining plants, cantaloupes, watermelons. You'll see the male flowers come out in abundance first. It takes a while for the plant to start putting out the female flowers. So right now these are just putting out male flowers. This is my cherry tomato bed. Remember, we got red sweet tomatoes, and we've got golden pear tomatoes. And man, you can see I thinned these down to about 2 plants per cage. That's probably more than you're supposed to have, guys. You know, with tomatoes, some of the no-nos are don't overcrowd them. They need a lot of air to get in here, otherwise they get blight. But honestly, I've never really had a blight problem out here in this backyard. I get it sometimes, but for the most part, I don't get a lot of blight because this area, it gets a lot of wind through this section. So it seems like it's hot and it gets a lot of wind and it stays pretty dry. But we do have some cherry tomatoes coming in. I figured I'd show them to you. we got some right here. And these are what appears to be the golden pear. And I know we've got a few other ones coming in back here. And you can even see some more coming in back there. And guys, for sake of time, we won't go through all of this, but it's funny. The left side is a lot more healthier and heavier foliage than the right side. And you know what? The sunlight might be a little different. This peach tree does block some of this, so maybe that the sunlight conditions are a little bit less over here. Speaking of peach trees, man, my Orient peach is loaded with fruit, guys. I'm really excited about the number of peaches on that tree. And then over here, we got some of the harvester peaches starting to come in. Always exciting to be getting some peaches in. In the same bed as the yellow beans, I did plant okra. So we've got 1, 2, some pests are getting to them, 3, and 4. We've got 4 okra plants coming in this bed, and I also put a couple of okras in this bed. You saw that I harvested my garlic, and so I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 okra in. It's only been about a week, and so far we've got a couple of baby okra plants coming in. In Texas, it gets hot and it stays hot all summer. And for those of you that have grown okra, it absolutely loves the heat. Now, that being said, this is my first year growing okra. I knew it flourishes well in Texas, but I don't make a lot of dishes with it. I like fried okra, and I'll stick it in a gumbo to thicken the sauce, but I don't do much else with it. So I'm really excited about growing it this year. Maybe I'll be able to make some fried okra. Hopefully the fam bam likes it, but if not, more for me. These are all the acorns that I planted last year, and they are growing like weeds. Hey Kai. And there's my puppy. There's my homegrown peach tree. We'll be getting an update on that soon. Now let's go to the other side of the yard. So on this side of the yard, got some purple basil and some Italian sweet basil. We've got a couple of cantaloupe plants, all male flowers on this one as well. And then another one over here, and again, all male flowers on that one. Hopefully we'll get some female flowers in the next couple weeks and get some cantaloupe growing. Guys, this is kind of a mess, and I just wanted you to know I planned it this way. This is my sweet potato patch. You can see them if I show you in the foliage down here. You can see all the sweet potato leaves and vines that are coming up through here. We're letting them grow and do their thing. Amongst them, the reason why it's a mess is I had several volunteer tomato plants. And if anyone knows me, I don't like to pull volunteer tomato plants because I always enjoy the varieties that I get. But yeah, really excited about this. All right, over here, guys, we have our Romas and San Marzano tomatoes, and these things have tomatoes on them like crazy. You can see the tomatoes down there. These are the San Marzanos. And there's even some more back there. And we've got some more down here, as well as some even way down there. They're everywhere. I mean, I could show you all of them. These branches don't look as good. It's hot right now. I'm gonna be taking the water hose and adding some additional water in here. These guys demand a lot of water right now. We've even got one with blossom end rot right there, which just shows you if you don't keep these guys watered, especially San Marzanos and Romas, they get blossom end rot. Not every tomato has it, just that one right there and maybe another one somewhere else, but look at all these tomatoes. Tomatoes everywhere. And, to tell you the truth, appears these guys are getting close to being harvested. Slightly getting a little bit of a red tint to them. Not quite yet though. So, tomatoes are growing in really well. Let's go check out the other side of the yard as well. While we head to that side of the yard, I wanted to show you for funsies I put in a little corn area. I had planted about 6 inches apart. Not every single one of them came up. You can see a couple of holes in some spots, but pretty much every row came up. I'm probably going to thin them out one more time, but we'll see. Anyway, hoping to get some corn this year. All right, guys, along this way we have our strawberry patch, and I have harvested hundreds of strawberries. Probably another one right here. Not the largest in the world, but I'll take it. Just like I think I see another one back there. So lots of strawberries. I probably could go through here and harvest another 30 or 40 at least. We'll save that for another time, but doing well, and I'm really excited about the strawberries. I've also got a couple of cow horn peppers, and honestly, these plants are stunted because I've allowed the fruit to grow like crazy. Let me show you what I mean here. That is a big pepper for a small plant. So we're going to be pulling off that pepper off that one. That's a big pepper for a small plant. That's why they call it a cow horn. It looks just like one. And another one's right in here. So we'll take those peppers inside. They're a little premature, but they'll still eat nice. Watermelon's been struggling this year. We've only got a couple of them, and they look very unhealthy. Here's my Thompson seedless grapevine. It is vining like crazy as expected. We've got some pretty good grapes coming in. We've got some grapes right there. We got some more grapes up there as well. And again, there's more pieces in here, but I'm not gonna root around in here right now. It's still really cool that we're getting grapes. I'm super excited. Here's another one I can see pretty easily right there. Again, they're everywhere. It's kind of cool that we're getting grape first year that I'm getting them. Here's my blackberry bush, guys. It is been damaged from wind, but you can see we've got blackberries coming in all over this guy. Now, you'll see I have a net on here because if I don't leave on a net, the birds will park on these branches and go to town on my blackberries. I've lost about 20 or so far. So I just threw this net over here to deter the birds from landing. They don't like to get their feet and wings caught in all this, so they don't mess around with it. Let's go ahead and go into the greenhouse. This is where I have all of my heirloom tomatoes, my larger variety. I have to put them in a greenhouse with this netting. Otherwise, the birds and the pests will eat my big tomatoes. But let's take a look. We got 4 brandy wines on this side and 4 brandy wines on that side. Then we have 4 Cherokee purples. And then in the back corners, we have black from Tula. So a pretty good variety. I also have 3 zucchini plants in here. One's back here. We got another one right here. And again, same thing, a lot of male flowers, no female flowers yet. They'll get their female flowers about a month after they start getting their male ones. So that's cool. We don't have a lot of fruit sets yet on these because they're still pretty immature. It takes longer to set fruit on the bigger tomato varieties, and it takes longer for them to mature. But we did get a couple of surprises. I want to show them to you. Look back here. Look at these cuties right here. And these are on a Cherokee purple. So we got a couple of early fruit sets on that one, which is exciting. A lot of flowers. So I would say over the next several weeks, we're gonna fruit set a ton of larger species, larger variety tomatoes. So that'll be a lot more to show you in a couple of weeks from now on my next garden update. Well, there you have it, everyone. That's my backyard garden tour for May. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll get you another video early June. If you enjoyed the tour with me, please give the video a thumbs up. And as always, happy gardening.